The world does not belong to the pessimists, believe me. You're selling happiness, and it's, and having it at arm's length away is a big part of it. And the distribution system development, it's the right formula, Muhtar, and it just has to be carried out with extreme diligence, enthusiasm in every minute of the day.
There's an emotional undercurrent in Buffett's journey that we often overlook. One of the most profound lessons from Warren Buffett's life is that he doesn't just acquire businesses. He acquires the stories and experiences that come with them.
I would like to just tell you a couple of short stories, and we'll draw maybe a couple of lessons from them. Two women each sold a business to Berkshire Hathaway, to me actually, for many, many, many millions of dollars. Both of them started with $2,500. And one of them was a woman who landed in Seattle in 1917, couldn't speak a word of English. She felt like a dummy. She couldn't pick up the language. She couldn't learn a word. They came to Omaha in 1919. And then as her oldest daughter went to school, she would come home, this daughter, Frances, and she would teach her mother the words she'd learned in school that day. And this woman, Rose Blumkin, spent 20 years saving money, bringing first her siblings over, her mother and father, $50 at a time. She sold used clothing to do it. She had 4 children during this period. And by 1937, after 20 years, she'd saved $2,500. She went to Chicago and she bought what she could of furniture. Her dream had always been to open a furniture store. But with the same spirit that the people in this room had about having a dream and working to accomplish that dream, she built a business which she sold to me in 1983 for $60 million approximately, and which did $1.5 billion worth of business last year. The 4th generation is working in that business. This woman, Rose Blumkin, she worked for me until she was 103. Then she retired and she died the next year, which is a lesson to all of Berkshire's managers that premature retirement, you can't tell what's going to happen. But Mrs. B, with her $2,500, one further fact about her, she could not read or write. And she didn't bring anything unique in furniture, but she brought a determination to succeed. And I saw one other woman who did a similar thing with $2,500. I paid her hundreds of millions of dollars for her business. Today, I'd like to tell you about one other small business person. This person, I went to buy his business from him, and he turned me down, which was very wise. But this was a fellow who was born about 8 years before I was. He was born in 1922. He was a pretty good athlete, didn't like school much. And I'm going to tell you one thing early in the story, maybe you can figure out who the guy was. The company he built hires more college graduates each year than any other company in the United States. And this fellow, who was destined for this but did not know it, Jack, went to college for a year and then dropped out. He really wasn't that interested in school. And the year he dropped out was 1941. And when the United States became under attack, he went down to the Army Air Force recruiting station, volunteered, and then he came back to the Midwest. So now we've got a young guy, probably by this time he would be 23 or 24 years old. And he actually kind of went from one job to another for a short period of, or not such a short period of time. And he finally became a used car salesman at a Cadillac dealership in St. Louis, Missouri. And at age 35, having moved up in the organization, the sales organization, he said to his boss, could I go into car leasing business with you? The boss said, well, if you'll cut your salary in half and you'll come up with, I think it was $25,000, which he borrowed, we can become partners in a car leasing company. So my friend Jack started at age 35 in the car leasing business. And he had 7 cars. It was pretty slow. In fact, one of the things he did was whenever the phone rang, he let it ring 3 or 4 times so people would think that he was very busy answering other phones. And of course, it was the only call he was going to get all day. So his first venture was okay, but it wasn't really going to go anyplace. And there's a lesson in this for all of us. At age 40, he decided with 17 vehicles, 17 cars, he was going to go into competition in the rent-a-car. And he's got 17 cars, and his cars aren't any different than theirs. I mean, he's buying them from General Motors or Ford or Chrysler. And he can't get the airport locations. Those companies have them all sold up. But he was determined that he would basically offer the customer, can't offer him a different car, but he can offer them friendlier service than they've ever seen. And so he started a company. He named it after the battleship that he'd flown from in the Pacific, which was the USS Enterprise. And he died about a year and a half ago. But when he died, his rent-a-car company, starting with those 17 cars, was worth more than Hertz and Avis and all the rest of the rental cars put together. The man's name was Jack Taylor, and his son, Andy Taylor, is a good friend of mine, runs the business now. A grandchild is in the business. There'll probably be a 4th generation along the line. So this man in the United States, he didn't invent artificial intelligence. He didn't do anything that, just like Mrs. B selling furniture, I mean, that any one of us could have entered those businesses. But he lived by the creed, basically, of delighting his customers and working with people and establishing the relationship with them so that they in turn would want to delight the customers. He couldn't go out there and take care of every rental car possibility, but he learned how to project himself and his attitude toward his fellow man and his desire, to make a friend out of every customer. He managed to take very ordinary cars and turn them into this extraordinary business from virtually nothing. But at the age of 40, with all of that experience behind him, he found the golden key, and he took a very ordinary business and turned it into an absolutely extraordinary operation. And just like Mrs. B, Rose Bumpkin did with furniture.
Buffett's journey isn't just about balance sheets and profit margins. It's about connecting with the human side of business. It's a lesson in understanding the emotional investment that every business owner has in their creation. In a world driven by cold calculations and cutthroat competition, Buffett's approach offers a ray of hope for every entrepreneur. It's a reminder that behind every business, there's a heart and soul that yearns to leave a mark on the world. Buffett doesn't merely acquire businesses, he becomes a part of their story. It's not just about numbers, it's about the people, the employees, the customers, and the communities that these businesses serve.
The test isn't whether you get the greatest business idea in the world the first time out. The test is whether you keep learning as you go along what your strengths are and what you can do for your customers, what you can bring especially to the party. And to do that, you need the education that I know you've received through 10,000 small businesses, but you need a genuine a genuine desire day in, day out to delight the customer.
For entrepreneurs and business owners, this is a powerful lesson. It's a testament to the value of building meaningful relationships in the business world. It's a reminder that success isn't just about what's in your bank account. It's about the impact you have on people's lives. So, as you navigate the world of business, remember this. Your journey isn't just about numbers and profits. It's about the people and the stories that enrich your path. Success isn't just about building wealth. It's about building a legacy and the profound lessons from the hearts of those who've walked the entrepreneurial path. We hope this video inspires you to follow your entrepreneurial dreams. What was your favorite part of the video? Let us know in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe to keep up with our latest videos.